Hello everyone. Got very short time. Yeah, okay, well, anyways, thank you for welcome back to another episode of Bible with the Daily Devil. Last time on Bible chapter Z, we looked at chapter 13 of Samuel. Amnon and Tamar. But today, chapter 14 of Samuel. Absalom returns to Jerusalem. Joab, son of Zeruiah, knew that the king's heart longed for Absalom. So Joab sent someone to Tekoa and had a wise woman brought from there. He said to her, "Pretend you are in mourning. Dress in mourning clothes, and don't use any cosmetic lotions. Act like a woman who has spent many days grieving for the dead. Then go to the king and speak these words to him." And Joab put the words in her mouth. When the woman from Tekoa went to the king, she fell with her face down to the ground to pay him honor, and she said, "Help me, your majesty." Then the king asked her, "What is troubling you?" She said, "I am a widow, and my husband is dead. I, your servant, had 2 sons. They are going into a fight with each other in the field, and no one was there to separate them. One struck the other and killed him. Now the whole clan has risen up against your servant. They say, and no one who struck his brother down, so that we may put him death, the life of his brother whom killed, then we'll get rid of him as well. They would put out the only burning coal I've left, leaving my husband's neither name nor sentence on the face of the earth." The king said to the woman, "Go home, and I will issue an order on your behalf." No, not now. But the woman from Tekoa said to him, "Let my lord the king pardon me and my family, and let the king and his throne be without guilt." The king replied, "If anyone says anything to you, bring them to me, and they will not bother you again. I assure you of that." She said, "Then let the king invoke the Lord his God to prevent the avenger of blood from adding to destruction, so that my son shall not be destroyed." "As sure as the Lord lives," he said, "not one hair of your son's head will fall to the ground." Then the woman said, "Let your servant speak a word to my lord the king." "Speak," he replied. The woman said, "Why then have you devised a thing like this against the people of God? When the king says this, does he not convict himself? For the king has not brought back his banished son, like a water spilled on the ground which cannot be recovered. So we must die." But is that not what God desires? Rather, he devised a way so that a banished person does not remain banished from him. And now I have come to say to my lord the king, because the people have made me afraid. Your servant thought I will speak to the king. Perhaps he will grant his servant's request. Perhaps the king will agree to deliver his servant from the hand of man who tried to cut off both me and his son and God's inheritance. And now his servant says, "May the word of my lord the king secure my inheritance. For my lord the king is like an angel of the Lord, discerning good and evil. May the Lord your God be with you." Then the king said to the woman, "Don't keep from me the answer to what I'm going to ask you." "Let my lord the king speak," the woman said. The king asked, "Isn't the hand of Joab with you in all this?" The woman asked him, "As surely as you live, my lord the king, no one can turn the rest from anything my lord says to the king. Yes, it was your servant, Joab, who instructed me to do this, and who put his words in the mouth of your servant Job, to change the present situation. My lord has wisdom like that of an angel of God. He knows everything that happens in the land." The king said to Joab, "Very well, I would do it. Go, bring back the young man Absalom." Joab fell with his face to the ground to pay him in honor, and he blessed the king. Joab said, "Today your servant knows that he has found favor in your eyes, my lord the king, because the king has granted his servant's request." Then Joab went to Geshur and brought Absalom back to Jerusalem. But the king said, "He must go in his own house. He must not see my face." So Absalom went to his own house, did not see the face of the king. In all Israel, there was not a man who was so highly praised for his handsome appearance as Absalom. From the top of his head to the sole of his foot, there was no blemish in him. Whenever he cut the hair of his head, he used to cut his hair once a year because it became too heavy for him. He would weigh it, and his weight was 200 shekels by the royal standard. 3 sons and daughters were born to Absalom. His daughter was Tamar, and she became a beautiful woman. Absalom lived for 2 years in Jerusalem without seeing the king's face. Then Absalom sent Joab in order to send him along the king, but Joab still refused to come to him. So he said the second time, but he refused to come. Then he said to his servants, "Look, Joab's field is next to mine, and he is barely there. Go and set him on fire." So Absalom's servants set the field on fire. Then Joab did not go to Absalom's house. He said to him, "Why have your servants set my field on fire?" Absalom said to Joab, "Look, I sent word to you and said, 'Come here,' so that I can send you to the king and ask, 'Why have I come to Geshur? Better for me to still here, blah, blah, blah.' Now then, I want to see the king's face. And if I am guilty of anything, let him put me to death." So Joab went to the king and told him this. Then the king summoned Absalom, and he came to him, bowed to his face, and ground before the king. And the king kissed Absalom. Well, guys, thank you all for listening. It's been better. I am doing now. This is the end.